We're back to opening the books. This week, we're focused on top receivers of federal grants in Las Vegas. And here to discuss what he dug up is the founder of openbooks.com. That's Adam Andrzejewski. So good morning to you, Adam. Let's, dig right into it. We got a lot to get to here. So let's start off with this question for you in the morning. How much in federal grants, let's say, did Las Vegas government entities, nonprofits, and let's also talk about businesses in fiscal year 2022?
So, Kim, our auditors at openthebooks.com, we found that nearly $300 million flowed to the different entities that you just described within the city limits of Las Vegas. So if you did the equivalent measure, let's say the federal government didn't fund those entities, but funded all of us, every man, woman, and child that lives in Las Vegas, each one of us would have gotten a check for $430. And I want to compare that against other big cities in Las Vegas and then in Texas, for example. So the second largest city in Nevada is Henderson. And so the equivalent measure in Henderson on federal grants is each person would have got $50. So Las Vegas did very well next to Henderson, but against the largest cities in Texas, they didn't do so well. For instance, Dallas, each man, woman, and child would have gotten a check for $700, and the same thing in Houston, Texas, about $700, where folks, the entities in Las Vegas got about half of that.
Okay, well, you showed us some of those comparisons and how they compare to some of the larger cities. So let's talk about the private sector entities. Can we talk about that and how they receive federal grants and who received the most? Let's go ahead and break that down.
So Catholic Charities received the most, about $10 million. Salvation Army received $7 million. So if you take those two together, that's $17 million. That is more in terms of federal grant making than the city of Las Vegas received. They received about $16.3 million in the city of Las Vegas. However, we did notice some interesting grants. So, for instance, about $64,000 flowed in federal grant making flowed to the Neon Sign Museum, and they've captured the old signs, for instance, on the Strip, the historic signs, and it's quite the tourist attraction there. We also found that $32,000 in federal grant making flowed to the Burlesque Hall of Fame. They applied for a federal grant to put their picture portfolio online and create high quality scans of it. We, in the interest of research, Kim, we took a look through their picture portfolio and we found, oftentimes that the photos can best be described as softcore pornography. And so look, the human body is beautiful. If you want to dance and jiggle your beautiful body, that's on you. But as a taxpayer, I don't want to fund the picture portfolio over at the museum.
Well, I tell you what, you've done some research here in digging and looking at the numbers and sorting through all of it. I think people may want to get a better idea of how you come up with these numbers and how you put these numbers in context. So let's talk a little bit about this so people get an idea of the process behind it.
So what we do is we download the federal checkbook. So for instance, starting in 2006, our former honorary chairman, Dr. Tom Coburn, partnered across the aisle with then Illinois U.S. Senator Barack Obama to open the federal checkbook for the first time in history. This allowed all of us to follow the money. So we take a look at where the federal, state, and local governments spend our taxpayer dollars. Then our auditors go through that data and compile these stories for the segments like what we're talking about here.
Well, Adam Andrzejewski, we have you every morning, every Thursday right here on the program, openbooks.com, if people want to find out more information about what you've dug up. Have a great day, and we'll see you again next Thursday.